All right. Good afternoon. Been a busy 3 weeks for us. Just to get to this point. There's a lot that goes into it. Um, about 5 days of kind of program meetings, if you will, staff stuff, local media day, ACC media day, ladies clinic. Just a lot going on. And then the last 2 days, just a ton of administrative and program meetings with our team. Just there's a lot of things, but we need to make sure everybody's on the same page with before we get to football. We've got all that behind us, and the team's done a great job as far as preparing to get to this point, and staff's done a great job as well. And now it's time to get back on the grass and get to work, and start the football preparation part to get ready to go play a game. This is a fun time of year. The season's not starting right now. The season started in January. This is just the kind of the third quarter of this of our journey, of our 2025 journey, as we head into what we call the primetime phase. We have our get ready phase, our transformation phase. Now we're going into the primetime phase, and it all builds to this. But this is the performance time. This is the time where you only get a few days to play the game, and this is when those days present themselves. And so excited about getting on the field and getting out there as a team and pushing forward, just one day at a time. But I know you guys probably all interested in just where we are from a health standpoint as we get going. The only real long-term injury is we got a young linebacker named Billy Wilkes. He tore his ACL in the spring game, so he's kind of the only long-term guy. You'll see some guys that are in green jersey today that are really doing great, and they're just kind of in a ramp-up phase as far as when they'll be fully released to do everything. And again, if you're in green, you're in practice. Green just means we're not going to have any live contact. They're going to do all the work. We're just going to have, avoid the live stuff with them. But Jay Haynes, Armand Mason, and Ari Watford and Watson Young, those guys will be rolling pretty quickly. I think Watson actually is going to be full go tomorrow. But those other three guys are all doing good. They're doing really well. So. We've just got a good plan with our medical staff as far as their ramp up into full go. And then some guys that are in yellow today, Olson, Pat Henry, Juju Preston, and Peyton Strecco. Not long term, but just out for a few days here or there. Olson had to have his tonsils out, so he's probably going to be a couple days late before he can get going. Just something that needed to go ahead and do. So it's not something he's having to deal with during the season. Juju's battling a little hamstring, and then Strecco's battling just a little shin pain. But so they're short term. It could be 2 weeks, could be 6 weeks, but that's kind of a short term thing. So Billy Wilkes is the only long term guy at this point, and so we're in a good spot. So we got. For the first time, for this year, we're actually get a chance to be a complete team getting out on the field. So that'll be a lot of fun. All right, so that's just a little update for us, health and stuff, and kind of status of what's been going on the last few weeks. And now it's go time. We got a good plan as far as how we go about our business and how we ramp up practice-wise today, Friday, Saturday. We won't go more than 3 days. As far as on our legs, at a minimum every fourth day, it will be might just be meetings. We'll do something, but not necessarily on the field. So, for example, we got this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is just meetings. There won't be any practice. We'll go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday will be a all meeting day, and we'll have a little team, outing. And then Friday, Saturday. Sunday will be pictures, and I think we're doing fan day. Are we doing that?
The donor event.
The donor event. Okay. So we're doing that, and then we'll get into that last week of camp. So we got a good plan to get them ready, and these first between now and next Wednesday is what we call acclimatization. So it's all structured, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got a good group, got a lot of energy to them, got a lot of good experience. We've got a lot of work to do.
Coach, you already had a great quarterback room. Now Hunter Helms is back. How did that all come about, and what does he bring to the room?
Yeah, I mean, Hunter just, he wants to coach, and when he left to go play last year, he told me that, and I said, well, just when you get done, let me know, and so he was coming back as an intern, and just honestly, I didn't even know he had another year of eligibility, just why not put him? Why not have him on the roster, right? Like, he's coaching. I mean, he's doing the Paul Tyson. He's in staff meetings. He's in all the coaching mode. But we'll keep him lathered up too. I mean, he's a pretty experienced kid who's played some football that really doesn't need a lot of reps and could go and execute at a high level for you if you had to have him. So we really love our quarterback room, but it's just kind of, like I said, one of those things, kind of kick yourself if you didn't. Again, I've been there, right? Like, I mean, the national championship in 2018, I love to tell everybody and remind everybody, we had Trevor Lawrence, Chase Bryce, and my third team quarterback was Hunter Renfro. And my fourth team was Will Spires, the punter. That was our roster. So that's where we were. In fact, in the Syracuse game, when Trevor got knocked out, because I had moved that week, I moved Hunter to the quarterback room and Will, took him out of the receiver room, and I'll never forget Hunter coming up to me when Trevor got knocked out and chased up. He goes, "Does this mean I'm the backup now?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I just hope you don't have to throw it to yourself." But anyway, fun moment on a really bad moment.
If you could address this, I'm sorry, but with the 105 now, to you, when does that 105, when is that live? Like, hey, I have 105 scholarships now.
Yeah.
Is it now, January, do you start giving them the walk-on? Like, how's that going to work for you?
Yeah, so for us and probably for most, everybody, like this, you have a lot of guys, and so for us this first year in particular, we kind of have recruited our roster to where it is, but there's a lot of kids that we were going to keep. So, we got a lot of guys that were on our roster that you're not going to have 105 Wescos. First of all, you can't pay them all, and they're not going to stay. So you have to build your roster. You got to have a little bit of everything. So you're 85, you're 105, and you got to have guys that you think can develop and guys that can help you. But we got a lot of those guys on this team, a bunch of them that have roles our snappers. We've got Fletcher Cothran, Griffin Back. Got some of these guys y'all may or may not know, guys that have played for us that we know we want to keep. Parker Fulgham, these are guys, Clark, these are kids that we are like, they could develop. And you need some developmental guys as a part of your roster. But when they grandfathered everybody, we just designated everybody to protect everybody. Because if you're not designated, then because if you wanted to leave and go play somewhere or something, you couldn't. So it'll phase down pretty quickly over the next 3 years to 105. But as our roster matriculates out, like we've got some seniors, guys that have been in our program that we'll put in the 105 this year, and as they graduate, well, now you can't go get a kid to walk on. So you got to go find guys that are, maybe they're preferred walk-on type guys or they're borderline guys. So it'll be changing every year. But we don't have to technically declare the 105 until the week of the LSU game. But we know, who those guys are, like Peyton Strecco. Like, he's a kid we want to keep in our program. Right? We want to keep this kid. We've got guys like that that are all throughout. And then we got the guys that are pretty much just the true walk-on guys that we're thankful that we're able to have them. I think we're going to be at like 126, and that because some of the kids came back. Like Peter Nern, Zach Jackson, Dominique Cardoni, those guys all came back. They all moved on because they thought their career was over and they weren't going to be in the 105. So because we originally, remember, we were going to have to be at 105, like nobody else on your roster. And so then they came back and said, we'll grandfather everybody who was on your roster last year or could have been on your roster this year. So we had some walk-on guys, inventory guys that had tried out and stuff, so we were able to bring a few of them out. We got some guys to come back, and so they can be on the roster until their eligibility's up. But some of them, like I said, they had moved on because they knew they weren't going to be in the 105. And, I mean, you're talking about mat drills and spring ball and all this stuff. And, so there was a few of them that when we reached back out, hey, they're going to grandfather. Do y'all want to come back? Because we need you. And I'm so thankful that those guys chose to come back and be a part of our program. Tristan Martinez, and then we had a couple kids like Sam Earl, Max Wilson, Seth Carranzas. We had some of those kids that came out in the spring, and we told them straight up, you got zero chance to be in the 105. But boy, we sure could use you. If you want it, Jack Perkerson, we're like, hey, if you guys want to just go through mat drills and I said, now if you can be on the team, but you got to do everything, But you're going, and I just want you to know with clear eyes, you're going to do all this, but you're going to be cut the week of the LSU game. But you get to be a part of it between now and then. If you want to do that, hey, you can come on out. And the cool thing about those kids is because they did something with no guarantees that was really, really hard, they created opportunity for themselves in life. Because if they not done that, they wouldn't be on the team now. And so that's a cool lesson for them, moving through their life. Like, they chose to do something really hard that had absolutely no guarantees to it. And now they get to be on the team. And they're grandfathered in until their eligibility's up. So it's cool. So, anyway, that's where we are. But like I said, we know who our 105 is, and there might be a couple kids over the next couple of years that get bumped up into that, but we'll have to recruit to that as we go through it. You've got a number. Now that you're at 105, your number changes at every position. So if your number's 15 at receiver, well, again, you're not going to have 15 T.J. Moores. That's not reality. But you got to go recruit them. So you got to put your number together somehow. So you'll have a combination of what that will look like.
You say Olsen Pat